So in the last lecture, we have started with RxJS. Okay, we have seen what is RxJS, what is reactive extensions library. Okay, and we have also learned about observable pattern. Okay, and how observable pattern is used in RxJS. Okay, so we have created our observables using some observable creation operators like of. Okay, and then we have also created an observable using observable class. Okay, here we have passed a function, a callback function, which will basically have a observer object and which will send the data using next function. Okay, then we have subscribed to that observable. We also seen how observable differs from your promises. Okay, what are the differences between observables and promises? And then we also saw that how to subscribe to the observable. Okay, and then we also saw that you can subscribe to an observable multiple times. Okay, then we also saw that how to um, capture an error. Okay, if there is an error in your observable, how to capture it using error method. Okay, and how to capture completion of your observable using complete method. Okay, so and also after that we saw the operators which we can perform on the observables. Okay, so whatever the values are being emitted by your observable, we can perform some operations on them using some operators. So we saw filter operator, map operator. These are some of the operators which are very popular and they are used every now and then. Okay, in RxJS. And today we will also continue with RxJS. Okay, we'll see how to unsubscribe from an observable, because observable, as you saw last time, when I subscribe to an observable, it goes on continue. Okay, it's continuous. Okay, so here you can see that if I add this complete method here, okay, in this subscribe, okay, I'll not see the complete method. I will not see this console log completed, because the observables are basically continuous, okay, till I call a complete method. Okay, but if you see this for numbers $off, okay, actually my observable gets completed after 5. So here you will find console.log completed will be printed here for this number style. Okay, so let's see how to unsubscribe from an observable. Okay, to unsubscribe from an observable, I need a continuous flow of observable so that I can unsubscribe it in between. So I'll create a new observable which will basically emit and value after, let's say, every 1 second. Okay. So if you see in RxJS site, and RxJS site, there is a interval uh, function, you can say interval observable, which creates an observable that emits sequential numbers every specified interval of time. Okay, so here in this case you can specify the number which is in milliseconds. So if you specify 1000 milliseconds, that means it will emit a number after every second. Okay, if you want to increase that time, decrease that time, you can do it. Okay, but we want it to be implement we want it to implement emit value after every seconds. Okay, and it will be like infinite times. It's like set interval kind of thing. Okay, so we can implement this interval observable. Let's say um, intervals dollar equals to I'll say interval. Okay, this is an RxJS operator, or say creational operator. Here you can specify the number period, that is 1000 milliseconds. So my observable is created. Okay, you can see its return type is observable of number. That means it returns an observable. I can subscribe to this observable. I'll just uncomment the previous subscription and I'll say this dot intervals dollar dot subscribe. Okay, and here I can pass on my observer like next function. Okay, which will give me the value. So here I can print the value console dot log and I will say value here. Okay, if I run this, you will see that after every 1 second the value is going to be printed. Okay, and it will go on infinite times. Okay, there is no stopping. Okay, because it's like an interval itself, so it will go on continuing. Okay, these values. Now I want to unsubscribe this, like I want to stop this. Okay, How do I do this? Now to do this, we need to call unsubscribe method. Okay, because unsubscribe method, what it will do, it will just stop this observable for from subscribing a value, or let's say emitting a value. Okay, so how do I unsubscribe it? To unsubscribe a observable, we can see the subscribe method basically returns me a subscription object. Okay, so let's take a variable here. I'll call it a subscription dollar, equal not equals to, it's of type subscription. Okay, it's of type subscription, because subscribe basically returns subscription. Okay, and here we are not assigning anything, so we'll say it can accept and defined as well. So exclamation, I'm putting it there. Then after the subscribe method is called, I will take it into that variable subscription dollar equals to this dot intervals dot subscribe. Okay, so now I got this subscription dollar. Now I want to unsubscribe it. I can simply do it here, this dot unsubscription dollar dot unsubscribe. But as soon as I do this, okay, so it will just get the first value, or maybe it will not get the first value, and it will unsubscribe it because I am doing it immediately. Okay, there is no stopping. So you will not see the value here. Okay, see, there is no 0, 1, 2, 3 because I am immediately unsubscribing it. That means my unsubscribe is working. If I comment this, then you can see it is emitting the value and I'm getting the value. Okay, but let's say I want to unsubscribe it after 5 seconds. So I'll put a set timeout here. And in that set timeout, I will add this unsubscribe. Okay. But whenever you do unsubscribe, okay, always make sure whether the unsubscription is available or not. Okay, because sometimes you may want to unsubscribe it multiple times, and if you have unsubscribed it first time, then in the second time you will not get the subscription object. It will be undefined or null or anything else. Okay, and on that you will not be able to call this unsubscribe method. It will throw an error. Okay, so always make sure that subscription object is available to you. Okay, because if you are doing unsubscription on some event, let's say on a button click, if you click once, then it will automatically get unsubscribed because we are adding a unsubscription here. But if you do again click on that button, then if you don't put this if condition, then this will throw an error because you are already unsubscribed to an observable. Okay, so that's the reason you should always keep it in a if loop, if condition. Okay. Save it and let's see. You will see that when I refresh this page, okay, I haven't added a timer here. So let's say 5000 milliseconds. So after 5 seconds, it will unsubscribe. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So after 4, it will not print anything because my subscription got unsubscribed. Okay, so that's how you can unsubscribe it. Okay, understood everyone how to unsubscribe from an observable?
Yes.
But what if I have multiple observables? Like let's say I have added one more observable here. Let's say I'll call this one as A and this one as B. What will happen? Will both of them will get unsubscribed?
No, I guess.
No, correct. Because when you subscribe to it, it subscribes two times.
Like two
Okay.
instances of a
So
subscribe variable. Like
yes, here you can see A is printed for 5 times, but B is continually printing the value. Okay, understood how to unsubscribe?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now you may ask that why do we need unsubscription? Okay, you'll understand this when we come to API integration and services part. So API, when you call an API in Angular, so uh, we use a function called HTTP get, HTTP post. This basically returns you an observable. So sometimes if you are calling an API, an API is taking a time, and if you switch to another page, your API is still going on, and in that case, you may want to cancel that API. So in that case, you can unsubscribe to that observable the API will automatically get cancelled. Okay, we'll see that example when we see like when we go to URL routing. Okay, I'll show you that thing. Okay, but everyone understood how to unsubscribe to an observable from an observable?
Yes.
Okay, good. Write it down.
From where
Done.
are we taking this value thing, sir?
Value. This value.
Yes, sir.
So this is a callback function, right? We have already done that thing. So this value is actually emitted by this interval observable. So this interval is basically emitting value after every 1 second. So it is emitting the number 0, 1, 2, 3 in an incremented fashion. Okay, understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Done, sir.
Okay, great. What about others? Is it done?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so let's move on. Now, okay, so this is how you can unsubscribe to an observable. Okay, now when you do subscription multiple times, okay, there is one thing which is happening is nothing but when you subscribe to an observable, okay, you may say that I'm subscribing to one observable. Okay, that means it is taking a value from this observable itself. Okay, and it is like broadcasting it. Okay, that means whatever the value is coming from this interval is broadcasted to these two subscribers. Okay, but actually it's not like that. Okay, why so? Because there are in RxJS there are like two types of observables. Okay, uh, I'll comment this one. This I will keep it as it is. Okay, I want to use this interval. So there are two types of observables: cold or unicast. Okay, and hot or multicast. Okay. uh, in an interview they may ask you question, what is cold observable, cold versus hot observable, or unicast versus multicast observable. Cold is nothing but unicast and hot is nothing but multicast. Okay, so what we are doing right now is nothing but cold observable. Okay, this thing that we are doing here, okay, this is nothing but a cold observable. What do you mean by cold observable? Cold observable, when you cold or unicast observable, that means whenever you subscribe to an observable, okay, each observable basically creates a new observer. Each observable creates a new observable. That means whenever observable emits data, it will be unicasted to that particular subscriber only. Means let's say you are subscribing two times. That means two observers are basically getting created and they are emitting the value. Okay, how can we ensure that they are basically two separate observers itself? Okay, let's consider one thing here. I'll just comment this out. I don't need this one. I'll create a observable here. um the intervals type of, but here I'll create one, let's say random observable. Random dollar equals to new observable, which basically returns observer. It basically returns me a random number. Okay, let's say observer dot next, and here I will say new math dot not math dot random, not new. It's math dot random. Okay, so it basically emits a random number. Okay, but so when we say like when you do subscription, if it was broadcasted with single value, then both of this should get same value, right? If I am doing a random dollar here, okay, and it is emitting once only. But if you do this, okay, here, and if you print the value at a and b, okay, let's see what happens. What values will I get? You will see that a is getting a different value and b is also getting a different value. Okay, this proves that whenever you do a subscription to observable, every subscription creates a different observer. Okay, and that means every subscription is getting value from different observer itself. Otherwise, both would have got a single value. Understood, everyone? Because both are basically giving you different values. If I refresh this multiple times, every time you will see both are receiving different values. Understood, everyone? That's why it is called as unicast. Unicast means what? Every subscriber will have its own observer. It is getting value from one observer itself. Okay, that's a unicast, and that's why it is called as cold as well. Understood, everyone? This unicast or cold observable. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So now hot or multicast observable is like opposite of this thing. Okay, that means you are basically you have only one observable, and whenever that observable emits a value, it is emitted to both these subscriptions. That means both are receiving the same values. They are basically connected to only one observer itself. Okay, means they are receiving from one value from one observer itself. Okay, how do you achieve this? How do you achieve this hot or multicast? Okay, multicast means like we have one observer and it is multicasting or emitting values to all the subscribers the same value. Okay, not every subscriber will have a different observer. Okay, so to do that, I'll create another one here. Let's call it as multicast random dollar, and I'll say unicast random dollar. Okay, and I'll use unicast random. Okay, so this is multicast random dollar. I'll do the same things here, and I'll say C and D. Okay, uh, let's just comment this one. This is not multicast. This will be unicast. Sorry, multicast, not a unicast. Okay. Now, if you see, this is like same things. So if you see here, both are receiving different values because they are actually unicast itself. Now, to make this multicast, okay, there are various ways. Okay, one of the ways is using an operator, and another way is using subjects. Okay, we will come to the subjects, but let's see how which operator can basically give you this multicast or hot things. Okay, hot observable. To use an operator, we use pipe method, right? So we'll use pipe, and there is a observable, there is a operator called a share replay. Okay, you can use this share replay to actually broadcast your values. That means multicast your values. Okay, so it basically creates internally it creates a subject itself. Okay, we'll see that subject, what is subject and all. So it internally creates a subject itself, and that subject is basically it's like a event listener itself. So it listens to whatever the observable value is sending. Okay, and it basically broadcasts that value to all the subscribers. Okay, it doesn't basically creates multiple subscribers. Okay, so now if you just add this share replay operator, okay, and if you save it, you will see that both of them are receiving the same values. You can refresh it. See, every time both of them are receiving the same values. That's how we can implement multicast, and that is called as multicasting. Understood, everyone? Multicast.
Hello.
समझा सब लोग को मल्टीकास्टिंग क्या होता है
Yes.
और cold observable hot observables. This is they like yeah, like interview type of questions because maybe the interviewer may ask you what is hot or cold observable or unicast or multicast observable, and how do you implement them. Basically whatever you create an observable, it's basically unicast itself. To make it multicast or hot, you can use operator called a share replay, or there is one more operator called a share also does the same thing, but the share replay basically replace previous values. Share doesn't replace previous value. It basically gives you the new values itself. If you want to replay the previous value, you can use share replay. Okay, that means if another observable another subscriber comes after some time, okay, it will receive previous values as well. That's the previous value, not previous values. Okay, so that's the reason we can use share replay. Okay, so understood, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, try this. uh, I'll just put it above here so that it can be in a one window itself. Write it down. Once done, let me know.
Done.
Everyone?
नो सर 5 मिनट लगेगा.
Okay, okay, ठीक.
Done, sir.
Give me a minute, okay? Okay, sorry. So is it done, everyone? So this is one of the way you can implement multicasting. Okay. Um, Now, if you have any existing observable, you can implement this multicasting on that observable. Okay, but this is just there is one limitation for this. Okay, rather than limitation on this, we can say limitation on observable itself, because when we say an observable, okay, observable basically the values are emitted from inside of that observable. Okay, you can see when I say a next function, I can call this next function inside an observable class itself. Okay, And whatever the other operators that we use, like of, interval, they are basically emitting the values from inside of that observable. Now, if you want to emit or put a next value using this next function from outside of this observable, means if I want to do my observable dollar dot next, okay, I can't do it. Okay, you can check it out here. If I do this dot my observable dollar dot next, there is no function called as next here. Okay, you cannot do a next from outside of your observable. Okay, then what is how we can do it? Okay, if you want to do it, because there are various cases where you want to update an observable outside of from your observable itself. Okay, then how do you do it? For that purpose, we have subjects. Subjects also implements this multicasting. Okay, subjects are basically multicasted by default. Okay, that means the share replay that we have done. Okay, it is actually share replay internally uses subjects. So subjects are by default multicasted. Okay, and your normal observables are unicasted. Okay, you can see the definition of subjects here. You can see subjects. What is subject? Subject is a special type of observable that allows values to be multicasted to many observers. So you can see that from the definition itself, they are already saying the subjects are already multicasting the values to many observers. While plain observables are unicast, each subscribed observer owns an independent execution of the observable. Subjects are multicast. So in the definition itself, they are saying subject are multicasted and observable. Normal observables are unicasted. Okay. You can consider like a subject is an observable but can multicast to many observers. Subjects are like event emitters. They maintain a registry of many listeners. Okay. That means many subscribers. They maintain the registry of many subscribers. So whenever the value comes from your observer, they just emit all the values to all the emitters, all the listeners. So that's the reason you get the same value in all the listeners. Okay, every subject is an observable, and every subject is an observer itself. Okay, what do you mean by observable and observer? Observer can emit a value, next, error, or complete, right? But observable can only subscribe. We already saw that when we create an observable, we subscribe to that observable. But when we have observer inside observable, we can put a next function, we can add a complete function, we can add a error function as well. Okay, so that means subject acts as both observable as well as observer. That means I can emit a value or send a value to an observable using subject. Okay, so how do you do that? Let's see it. So if I want to create a subject, I can simply say subject, let's say subject dollar, okay, just for naming purpose, and I'll create a new subject here. Okay, subject is a generic type. So if you don't specify anything, if the value is unknown, that means you can pass any value. If you just want to pass a number, you can specify a number here. So you can just emit a number. Okay, you cannot emit a string, you cannot emit an object because you are specifying subject is of type number. Okay, so this is how you can create a subject. Okay, once subject is created, you can since you know like from the definition itself, subject is an observable. That means I can subscribe to a subject. Okay, so that means I can do this dot subject dollar dot subscribe. We have a subscribe method here. We can see the value of console dot log. Okay, and I'll say value here. Okay, so values will be printed. If you run this, you will not see any value printed here. There is no value because I haven't added any value in the subject, so there is no value. Okay, but as per the definition, subject also acts as observer. That means they can call next, error, or complete methods. Okay, that means if I want to call if I want to pass a number or value to the subject, I can do this dot subject dollar dot next. I can call a next function and I can pass a value. Let's say I pass 10 value. Save it. You will see the 10 values coming here. Okay. If I want to pass it one more time, I can pass it 20. So two values are passed, 10 and 20. So here you can see from outside of your subject or observable, I am able to send the values to the subject using dot next function. I can call complete as well. error as well. Okay, from this, like say this dot subject dollar dot complete. If I call a complete, then your subject will get completed. Okay, for that you need to use this next and error and all of this stuff. Okay, error here, and then it will print error console dot error error, and we'll have complete method. Okay, which will print console log completed. Okay. So if you do this, you will see that after 10 and 20, the value is completed. Okay, the observable is complete. You can see 10, 20, and completed. Okay, but once you complete it, you will not be able to send the value because that's the way your observable behaves. Okay, so if I try to emit a value after my subject is or observable is completed, I'll not be able to get the value after that. Okay, so if I again send in 30 after this, you'll not receive a 30 here. Okay, understood everyone? So how to create a subject and how to uh, call a next method on it. One more thing, if you call a next method before this, okay, like 5 here, you'll not receive 5. Okay, you can check it out. You will only receive 10, 20, and completed. You will not receive 5 because before subscribing, I'm calling a function, next function. Okay, because before subscribing, I am basically emitting. So before subscribing, whatever value is emitted is already gone. You cannot see it. So that's the reason you will, when you subscribe to it and before subscribing it, if you send a value using next function, you will not receive it. Understood everyone? The subject.
Yes, sir.
Okay, try this down. Okay, write it down. To create a subject, you can just type the variable name equals to new subject and the type of value that you are sending to this subject.
Done, sir.
Okay, is it done for everyone?
Yes, done.
Great. Now, how can we say that subject are multicasted? Okay. We can do the same thing. Okay. We were using math.random here. We will also do the same thing here. Okay. And we will do subscribe to this one more time. Okay. Instead of doing this, I'll just say console.log value. And for this, I'll say B and A. Okay. So there are two subscriptions for this subject. Okay. And I want to send a random value. Yes. Okay. So I want to send a random value. So let's send it this dot subject dollar dot next and math dot random. Okay. Now you can see that I'm sending math dot random only once, but since there are two subscriptions, but actually they are subscribed to only one observer. Okay. You can check it out. You will see both are receiving the same values A and B. Every time I refresh, every time they will listen give every time they will see same values, both of these observables. That means my subjects are multicasted. Understood, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, so so we have seen this, like we can emit a value to a subject from outside of your observable. Okay. Now you can use this same funda, okay, or method for our cart implementation. Okay. We actually wanted to implement this thing where if you implement a cart value here, okay, and if I want to get it in real time here, I would have to do like click here and then I would get the value of count. Okay. That was the previous implementation. Okay. Which we had done. Now we want it to be like real time. So whenever I click on this, I should get a value immediately here. Okay. So for this purpose, you can use subjects, because by using subject, I can send a value whenever I click on this add to cart button. That means I can insert a value to the subject, and at subject are observable itself, we can subscribe them here and we can get a value. Okay. So let's see how to implement it. I'll just comment everything here so that to avoid congestion in your console. Now here you can see that I have a cart count variable. Okay, this cart count variable basically maintains the value of cart count. Okay, we'll keep it as it because we will need this cart count variable to increment it internally. Okay, and if you see, we were using increment cart count by using the same method, and decrement cart count, and then for getting a cart count value, we used cart count get cart count method. Okay, so I'll just remove this method because I won't be needing this. Instead of that, I will use a subject here. Okay, let's call it cart count dollar. Okay, equals to new subject. Okay. Now I know this subject is going to have a number value, so I'll say number here. Okay. This card count dollar. Okay. I'm not keeping it as private, so that means I can access it outside of this class. Okay, it's actually default public. Now, whenever I increment it, instead of directly just incrementing it, I will increment it as well, and I will say this dot card count dollar dot next. I will pass this card count on this observable or subject. I'll pass this value here. Same thing I will do here. Okay. I'm not doing subscription here because subscription will be done when I want to subscribe it here. Okay. So when I click on the button increment, I will just add that card count. I will increment the card count and I will add that card count into my subject. Okay. So this is done. Now let's come to your um, product list component. Here we don't have to do anything. because we are already calling a card count method here, increment card count, which is doing the stuff for us, which is basically putting the value into the subject. We have to change it in an app component.ts file, because here we are using this product service dot get card count, okay, which we have removed. Okay, so instead of that, we want to use get count card count dollar. Okay, so how do you do that? I'll comment this one. I'll use this dot product service dot card count dollar. Okay, I cannot directly assign it to card this dot card value because it's a observable or subject. And if I assign a subject, it will print it will be an object. It will not be actually a value. I need to do subscribe. Okay, so do subscribe here. We'll get the count. Okay, you can assign that count to your this dot card value equals to count. So whatever the count will come or value, whatever the value will come, you can assign it here. Okay, I need to comment this on as well because I'm not going to receive it after subscribing it. Okay, so I'll just do the subscribe here and I will receive the count here and I will assign it to cart value. So as soon as you assign it to cart value, you will see that the cart value we are actually where is we are displaying it here. Okay, and we are calling get cart count method actually. Okay, the basically subscription will happen when we click on that button. If you don't click on it, the subscription will not happen. Okay, so that means if you want to receive a value, you have to click on this get card count button. Okay, first we will do this, then I will tell you how to do it like in initialization itself. Okay, first let's do this and let's see what happens if I do this kind of stuff. So let's refresh your page. Now see, if I am clicking on this, okay, my value is getting updated. My pointer event is happening. That means my count is updating, but still I'm not seeing a value here because this subscription happens when I call this get count method, and get count method is called when you click on this button. Okay, that means I need to click on this button. If I click, okay, and if I add to cart, you will see the value is getting reflected here. Okay, 3, 4, 5. You can see it is in real time. 6, 7, 8. Okay. You are seeing the values real time. Understood? So that's how you can implement a real time values. Understood everyone? How this is implemented?
So can you please
Can
repeat
you
last
show
part?
the, yeah, exactly.
Last part, this one. Okay. See, what I have done is actually, um, so till this you have cleared, right? The product service where I am
Yes.
updating the value in the subject.
Yes.
So I need to subscribe to this subject, right? Then only I will receive the value. So I'll come to app component.ts, and here we have already had the get count method. So when we call this method, I actually used to get the card count value, but I have commented this. Now we have a card count dollar subject. We are subscribing to this, and whenever I subscribe to it, whatever the value is emitted will be captured here, and you can basically assign it to cart value. This cart value we are printing it here. That's the reason
Okay.
whenever it's created, we are seeing it here. Okay, also this get cart count method, when I will call this method, only that time I will receive the value, because subscription is happening on get cart count method.
Correct.
Correct. So that's the
Yes.
reason when you refresh this page. Okay, and if you just click on this add to cart, you will not see it is updating in real time.
Hmm.
Okay, because we haven't even subscribed yet.
Hmm.
Okay, the subscription will happen when I click on this. So if I click on this, my subscription is open now. Okay,
Okay.
but I'm not still seeing the value because, as I told you, subject will not receive the previous value. Previous value is already emitted. So
Hmm.
the currently I don't have any value to display. So when we click on this, the previous value was 2, that is incremented, and now you will receive the 3 value. So now if you click on this, you will receive it immediately. Okay, because your
Okay.
subscription is open. Okay, so whenever I click on this, you will receive the values whenever I uh, call a next method. Okay, when if you do it here, wherever, that will the value will increment. Understood everyone?
Sir.
Yes.
Rajesh, okay.
Yes,
What
sir.
about others like Sagar, Rishikesh, Ravi,
Yes.
Balaji, Priyanka? Okay, great. Write it down, then I will tell you what will happen if I do this in a function, what we are doing right now. Okay, first do this, then we will see. So first, create a. You already have this card count variable. Just create a card count dollar subject. Okay. And
Sir, I have one question.
yes.
What if we come put this method that is get card count in app components constructor? So
Yeah.
as soon as that component will render,
Hmm,
subscription will be open and will
correct. You can do
immediately.
it. Yes, I will do it here. Okay. I'll do it here. Okay, so whenever the component is created, this card count method will be called and subscription will happen here. Okay, that is also one thing. I'll remove the click method from here so that it will remove the confusion. Okay, so in the constructor, we are calling this get card count method and it will do the subscription. So at the initial stage itself, when I do add to cart, the value are basically emitted here in real time, but still it is problematic. I will show you how and why. Okay,
Okay.
so do this one first, then I'll tell you.
Done.
Then what about others?
Done, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so how it will affect us? Okay, if I do it in a function. Okay, what the problem it will create? Okay, let's see. What if I call this function two times? What will happen?
Will subscribe twice.
Correct. So if I do this, if I do add to cart, you will see actually here you will not be able to find it. I'll just do a subscription here and I will put a console log inside this log this dot cart value. Okay, let's see now. Fresh add to cart. You will see one is printed two times. If I click on this, two is printed two times. Okay. What if I do three times? Subscription will happen three times, right? So it is basically we are creating lot more subscriptions here, which is actually not required. If you do this on a, let's say a button which we had done previously, okay, and if I do this on, let's say, single time on a constructor, okay, so for now it will just give me one value, right? Once, only once. But if I click on this, another subscription is created. Now if I click on add to cart, you will see two times, two times. If I click on it again, the third subscription is created. Click three times, three times. Click again, four times. So whenever you click on this button, it is creating the subscription multiple times. Okay, understood everyone? So that's the reason you shouldn't write this in a function. Okay, or rather you should do only one time itself. Okay, how can you make sure that it is done only once? You can use implements on init. On init, if you know, And like previous like 1 or 2 lectures before, we have seen on init will be called only once in the life cycle of your component, right? And it will be called after ng on changes. That means whenever I receive a data, after receiving a data, this ng on init is called. So we can use this ng on init, okay, if you want to do any subscription. Okay, I can do it here. I don't need to call a function. Now ng on it will be called only once. Okay, so even if I call this get count method every time, I'm not doing any subscription here. Okay, I can do any other things, but subscription will only happen once. Okay, this will prevent basically calling subscription multiple times. Now here, if you see, okay, I will do add to cart only once. If I click on this as well, only once it is doing, because I have removed the code from here. Okay, so ng on init can be used to perform initialization process, and most of the time you will see that subscriptions, observable subscriptions, will happen in ng on init itself. Okay, even some cases you want to call API when you receive a data on that component. Like if you have a star component here, okay, and we receive a rating, and I want to call an API on this, okay, or do some observable thing, then ng on it will be the best option. If you do ng on changes, that is the problematic, because ng on changes will be called every time whenever the rating will change. So whenever you do rating, whenever the rating will change, the subscription will happen once again. Okay. So you want to avoid that thing. So just put it in a ng on it. Okay. So understood everyone? The ng on it, how we can use it to subscribe your subject or observable only once.
Yes.
But what if I want to do it in a function itself? Okay. And I want to do it only once, because maybe sometimes the case might arrive that I want to do subscription on the function itself. I want to call the subscription every time, but it should happen only once. Okay, I want to create a new subscription every time. So what changes we can do here? Anyone?
After view init.
After we it will also be called only once. Initialize.
Ach-
Let's say on the when I click on this button, right, get count method is called, right? So when the get count method is called, I want to create a new subscription itself, but I don't want a previous subscription. What can you do?
Unsubscribe to all the previous,
Correct,
maybe.
you can unsubscribe previous subscription. Okay, just create a variable here. Let's say subscription dollar colon subscription, which is undefined for now, and you can assign let's say I'll just comment this one. When I do this dot get cart count, initially I will do this. I'll do this dot subscription dollar equals to the entire thing. Yeah, and comment this one. Okay. So this dot subscription dollar. First, what I will do, I will check whether the subscription dollar exists or not. If it exists, then I will unsubscribe it. Dot unsubscribe. Okay, sorry. Subscription dollar dot unsubscribe. Okay, but after you do unsubscribe, okay, then you can do your subscription. Don't put it in else, because if you unsubscribe it, then obviously afterwards you are going to create a subscription, another subscription. Okay, this way you can prevent multiple subscriptions. Then come here and check, refresh, add to cart. You can see once clear it, click on this, add to cart, you will see happening only once, not twice. Click it again, click again, you will see only once it is happening, because previous subscription got cancelled because of unsubscribe. Okay, so this is also the way you can do like one time subscription. Okay, but avoid this thing unless and until it is required. Understood, everyone?
But sir, how it is retaining the previous cart value after unsubscribing it?
See, your subject is basically subscription is a different thing. Okay, your observable is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Observable is basically giving you new values. You are just
Okay.
unsubscribing means what? You are just removing the listener. Okay,
Okay.
but your observable is still live. It is still
Cart
emitting the.
count dollar.
Yes, means
Okay.
that's the reason if you do multiple subscription also, if you unsubscribe one subscription, everyone every other should receive the value, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the reason observable will do emission unless and until it is completed or there is an error. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
only we are unsubscribing means what? We are unsubscribing from the current subscription, whatever we
Okay.
have. Okay,
Okay, sir.
yeah, we are not destroying your observable. Okay, so I would always recommend using ng on it. Okay, I'll keep it here just for a reference purpose. Do this once done. Let me know.
So ng on init will always give us a unique session of subscription.
Ng on it, right? Ng on it will be called only once, right? So it will only create a subscription once only.
Okay.
Okay, and also in this case also there are now do this. Then I'll tell you.
Sir,
What is
have
the
we added that on in it, sir? Implements on in it.
Here on the class, it's an interface, right?
and what is the reason you told us to avoid this method, like to check whether the cart is subscribed or not?
Uh, Pardon, I couldn't get you. Which one?
The the method one that you just taught us,
Uh,
why you told us to like always like not
Use this
mostly,
one.
yeah,
Ng.
yes, and avoid that unless and until it is
What
not
this
used.
because see we are calling it as get card count. Okay, unless and until it is required that the function should be called on get on for like subscription to should be called on some method. Okay, you can already subscribe it in ng on it. And most of the time immediately when the component is created you will need some values from the subject itself. Okay, so that time ng on it will be a better option because if you do this in get card count, okay, you will call this get card count here. Okay, every time you need to call get card count method. Okay,
Mm,
and someone might do like you are working in a team. Okay, and someone might call this get card count uh, every time. Okay, so in that case, this is the option. But if you do want to do it only once, okay, if you don't want to create more subscriptions to it, then ng on it is a best option.
okay,
Okay, but yeah, if you want to destroy previous subscription and then want to create it, then create a method and use this method. Okay,
okay, okay,
because every time when you are unsubscribing it, new you are creating a new subscription, you are basically removing a memory and creating a new memory. So instead of that, if you already have one memory, that will be a good option. Right? Sorry. Is it done, everyone?
2 minutes, sir. Commented part करना है.
Huh.
And constructor is always, I mean, uh, recalled or whatever the, I mean,
Constructor will be called only
I
when your component is
yeah,
getting created.
only when it is created.
Yes, before like receiving a data or anything. Okay, so constructor will be called only when your component is getting created. Okay, before receiving a data, because the data will be received on ng on changes. So constructor is the first thing that will be called. After that, ng on changes, ng on it, and all that stuff.
Okay, okay, okay.
Sir, can you please explain again, like what was the reason for not doing this unsubscribe method over on in it?
This one,
Yes, sir.
I will explain this to you in with one example after this.
Okay. Okay, sir.
In that you will understand it better. Is this done?
Sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Now, see, app component is a root component, right? So you may have like a lot of components in an application, and some components may get destroyed at some point of time, and some components may get created at certain point of time. Because if you move from one page to another page, your previous components from the previous page will get destroyed, and the new components on the new page will get created again. Okay, so in that case, if you already have a subscription on the previous component which are already destroyed, they will remain as it is. Okay, they will remain alive. Okay, that means if you send the data to that observable, even though the component is destroyed, you will receive that data in your subscription. Okay, because we haven't unsubscribed it. You can see I have subscribed it on ng on in it, but I haven't unsubscribed it. Even though app component got destroyed, okay, your subscription still remains. Okay, so if I send the data from product component add to cart, this will still get the value of count. Okay, even though it is not required because your component is already destroyed. Okay, right now I cannot show it to you because we don't have a routing here. Okay, like in future when you do a routing, at that time just remind me so that I can show it to you, but right now I cannot show it to you. Okay, because we don't have a multiple pages to show this stuff. Okay, but yeah, I can show it to you, like how to unsubscribe it if your component is getting destroyed. Anyone can tell me which lifecycle method can be useful in this case?
on destroy.
Correct. We can use on destroy, because on destroy will be called whenever your component is destroyed. Okay, we can use this method and be on destroy to unsubscribe your subscription. We can use this subscription dollar again, and we can assign this to this dot subscription dollar equals, and we can do the same thing which we were doing before, like checking the unsubscription and then unsubscribing it from it. Okay, this will make sure that whenever your component is getting destroyed, your previous subscription are destroyed. Okay, understood this one?
Yes,
Okay, what about others? Okay, great. Now, let's say I have a lot of subscriptions here. Let's do one thing. I'll do 2 and 3. 3 subscriptions are there. I'll say A, E, and C. There are 3 subscriptions now. Okay. And all of these are basically different subscriptions. Okay. Now, what will happen if I do unsubscribe? Let's say not on destroy. I'll do unsubscription after, let's say, 5 seconds. Set timeout. Okay, just for checking, I'm doing this. Okay, after, let's say, 5 seconds, I'll do unsubscription. Okay, I have created 3 subscription. I have assigned them to subscription dollar. So after 5 seconds, what will happen? Will I stop receiving values? from all the subscriptions? Yes or no? Yes. Yes,
Uh,
Rajesh. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
no,
रिपीट
no.
करिए ना एक बार शायद क्वेश्चन समझा नहीं प्रॉपर.
So what I am saying is, see, I'm doing subscription three times, right? One, two, and three. A, B, and C, right? I'm assigning the subscription to a variable subscription dollar, correct? And after 5 seconds, I'm unsubscribing from that subscription. After 5 seconds, will all of this receive a value or all of them will get unsubscribed?
Uh, C wala will get unsubscribed and A
Hmm,
and B will continue.
correct. You can check it out. So if I click on this add to cart, you can see all of them are receiving values. Now let's say 5 seconds are over. I'll click on this. You will see only A and B are receiving. C is not receiving. So now we can see that when I'm doing this, okay, only the third subscription is getting unsubscribed because I'm using the same variable for that. Okay. So in that case, you have to create multiple subscription for every subscription here, right? So here, huh? Right,
हे टाक
right.
ना ब्लीच में टाक ना आलं.
Yes, yes.
Rajesh, mute kar. One,
सॉरी सर.
uh, two, three. Okay. So I can do one, two, and three. Okay. Here one, one. Now if I do subscription on one, so only A will get unsubscribed. Yeah. Here, okay, I'll uncomment this one so that there is no error. So here you see after 5 seconds, only A will get unsubscribed. Now I'm receiving on all of the three. If I do this, you'll see B and C are getting the values. A is unsubscribed. So that means if I want to do unsubscription on all of them, I want to check how to check for all of them. Two, two, three, three, right? So if I refresh now I'm receiving all values on all of them. Let's 5 seconds are over. Do it. You will see none of them are receiving the values. That means all of them are unsubscribed. Understood this one? Like if you want to create multiple subscription, I have to create multiple variables here. Correct? So if I want to do this, I have to do unsubscription here as well. Like for all of them and NG on destroy, I have to do unsubscription.
इसका सर कोई
Understood?
ऐसा ग्लोबल डिस्ट्रक्टर नहीं है जो लाइक
Yes,
टारगेट्स
yes.
ऑल द
I'm coming
सब्सक्रिप्शन.
to that.
ओके सॉरी.
समझा ये इधर तक समझा.
यस सर.
Okay. Now what if you want to do this only once? मतलब एक ही बार मैंने unsubscribe कर दिया तो सारे unsubscribe होने चाहिए. Okay. How we can do it? By the way, do you want to test this out first? Then we can do the rest.
नेक्स्ट कर सकते हैं, कंसेप्चुअली समझ गया ये.
हाँ चलो टेस्ट कर लो ठीक है.
मीन सर नेक्स्ट वाला कर सकते हैं जो ग्लोबल है ना.
ओके ठीक है चलेगा. Okay, now to do it globally, how we can do it? Okay, so to do it globally, we need to use subject. Okay, subjects are multicasted, right? That means if I use subject for all of them, right, for all of this subscription, if I unsubscribe to that subject, all of them will get unsubscribed, right? Because all of them will be connected to one single subject, correct? So if I unsubscribe subject, that means all of them should get unsubscribed. Understood? So here we can use subject. Okay, so if I say let's say subscription. Okay, dollar. Okay, we already have a subscription dollar. Let's call it a subject subscription. Okay, equals to new subject If I do this subject, now I don't have anything value for this, so we'll keep it as it is. This subject subscription. Okay, I'm creating a new variable here. Okay, I now don't have to do this. Okay, I'll comment, let's say copy this one. I'll keep it as it is for now, just for now. Okay, now I have created subject subscription here. I'll copy and paste it here. I'll remove all of this. I don't want to assign it to a new variable. I'm removing all of this variable. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll just do this subject subscription. I'm not going to assign it. Actually, I'm going to connect this subject to all of this observable. How do we connect it? You can use one operator. Okay. That operator called as take until. Okay. That means until this subject is alive, take the values. Once this subject is destroyed or unsubscribed, you can unsubscribe this. Don't take a value from this. Okay, that's the operator that we can use it here. We can do the same thing everywhere, here as well and here as well. Okay, I can see I'm doing take until for one subscription itself. Now I just need to do one thing. After, let's say, set timeout, uh, 5 seconds. If this dot subject subscription, then I will do dot unsubscribe. Okay. So now you can see by using single variable, I will unsubscribe all of them. Okay. Let's check it out. Okay. Refresh, add to cart. You can see all of them are receiving now. Okay. Let's wait for 5 seconds. Now, see, 5 seconds are over. I'll click on it. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. I have done something wrong here, maybe. Subscription. Just a minute. Something wrong is here. Let me check. What is the problem? There is something wrong here. And begins mirroring the source observer. It also monitors second observer. If the notified doesn't emit any value and completes, then take it with all values. Okay. Subject subscription, new subject. Let me check. One thing. Okay, I forgot. Okay. So when you do unsubscription, okay, first you need to send a value to subject. Okay. Otherwise, the unsubscription will not happen. I don't know why this happens, but you need to send something to the subject. Okay. Now any value you can say, let's say false or something, any value you can pass it to the subject, and then you can unsubscribe it, then it will unsubscribe. Okay. Now you can see 111 after 5 seconds, you will see that all of them are got unsubscribed. Okay, so this is the main important point which I missed actually. Okay, you need to send a value to the subject. Okay, if you don't send a value, actually there are no subscriptions or no subscriptions to the subject. Okay, and that's the reason it doesn't unsubscribe. Okay, so you should do next first and then do unsubscribe. Okay, if you are using this method, take until for subjects. Okay, so understood everyone. Now you can see that by using only one variable, I'm able to unsubscribe all the subscriptions. Understood everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Will it work like even if we pass complete or error or something like that? The unsubscribe.
Um, no, if you do complete, okay, the subject will complete, but this will not be unsubscribed. Okay, what take until does is like it will emit a value until your subject or observable here is basically alive. Actually, it is not alive. It basically we completes it. That means it doesn't unsubscribe it. So if you want to unsubscribe it, just call unsubscribe.
Instead of passing next false, what
Mhm.
if I do this dot next subject subscription and then do like complete?
Subscription like subscribe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, like
So
do this. What we have
if
dot
you do
log and
subscribe here
complete.
or complete,
Yeah.
try it out. I haven't tried this. No, it is not
No.
happening.
Okay.
The next function will work. Okay. Now, see, everyone understood this one. Like by using single subscription, I can unsubscribe it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's check your method. If you do the by this method, okay, what will happen? Okay. Now let's say I want to implement like if you have a lot of subscriptions using get count, and if you're doing it on a single uh, observable or single or subject, then that's fine. But what if you have a lot of like three observables? Consider we have three observables, and those three observables are getting created on, let's say, one on get card count method, another was, let's say, another method. Let's say three observables are getting called on three methods. Okay. Now in that case, if you use this dot subject subscription, okay, only one subscription, okay, and you do take until here, what will happen? When I do unsubscription, all of them will get unsubscribed. What if I just want to unsubscribe only one observable? Then what will happen? Will not be able to do it, right? Let's say चलो एग्जांपल ट्राई आउट करके ही देख लेते हैं. So मेरा एक get card count method है. Okay, I'll do one thing. Instead of get card count, I will use get card count 1, then get card count 2, and get card count 3. Okay, कंसिडर कर लो कि ये तीनों भी अलग अलग सब्सक्रिप्शंस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. Okay, so I'll just use this one. Now अगर मैं previous method से जाता हूँ, मेरे को तीनों अलग अलग variables को assign करके then I will have to do unsubscribe on them. But what if I want to use this method? Okay, the single one. Okay, so if I do this here, यहाँ पे I'll write ABC, A, B, and C. Okay, तो मेरे तीन मेथड से तीनों मेथड्स अलग अलग सब्सक्रिप्शंस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. Okay, so I'll call them here. गेट कार्ड काउंट 1 2 3, ठीक है। तो तीनों भी अलग अलग सब्सक्रिप्शन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। ओके, सो आई रिफ्रेश, यू कैन सी एबीसी। अच्छा, ये ऊपर वाला भी कॉल हो रहा है, हाँ ये वाला। सो इनको जरा मैं कमेंट कर देता हूँ फिलहाल के। ABC1, ABC1, ABC2, ABC3, okay. Now all of them are called. Let's say कि मुझे सिर्फ A को unsubscribe करना है, B को नहीं करना है, C को नहीं करना है, okay. So इसके लिए हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है अभी। If you do this dot subscription dollar, okay, let's say after 5 minutes, मैं इसको यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ। अगर मैंने ये कर दिया unsubscribe, तो सारे unsubscribe हो जाएंगे। टू कार्ड तीनों दे रहे हैं, 5 सेकेंड के बाद चेक करते हैं ना, चेक इट, यू सी ऑल ऑफ देम आर अनसब्सक्राइब। मुझे एक ही को करना है, लेट्स से ए को, तो नहीं कर पाऊंगा। ओके, सो उसके केस में आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, अलग अलग सब्सक्रिप्शन वेरिएबल्स क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे। ओके, समटाइम्स यू मे नीड कि आपको कुछ सब्सक्रिप्शंस अलाइव रखने हैं, उनको अनसब्सक्राइब नहीं करना है। तो अगर आप ये मेथड से जाओगे तो सारे आपके बेसिकली अनसब्सक्राइब हो जाएंगे एक ही साथ में। और डिस्ट्रॉय में अगर आप डिस्ट्रॉय कर दोगे, डिस्ट्रॉय में अगर अनसब्सक्राइब कर दोगे तो सारे डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएंगे। ओके, कभी कभी ऐसा लग सकता है आपको कि एक पर्टिकुलर सब्सक्रिप्शन ओपन रखना है। ओके, सो उस टाइम पे आपको ये कर दोगे तो सारे डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएंगे। ओके, एंड आप देख सकते हो हर एक मेथड में फिर मेरे को ये टेक कंटेन लिखो या फिर वो वेरिएबल बना के करो या करना पड़ेगा। सो बेटर है कि जो भी सारे एक साथ सब्सक्रिप्शंस करने हैं एक ही जगह पे कर लो। ओके, और उनको टेक अंटिल एक ही वेरिएबल से यूज कर लो। ओके, इंस्टेड ऑफ राइटिंग अलग अलग मेथड्स एंड देन उसमें करने के बजाय। सॉरी। ओके, अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
ओके, ये मैं रिमूव कर देता बिकॉज कोड बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है। आई जस्ट ये कंसेप्ट तो आपको समझा रहेगा, सो यू कैन ट्राई दिस आउट। आई जस्ट रिमूव दिस स्टफ and I'll keep this one itself. uh, ये चीज आप यहाँ पे कर सकते हो। क्या ट्राई करके देख लो।
Done.
डन। एवरीवन?
एक मिनट सर, वापस दिखाए ना सर कोड।
हाँ,
यस सर।
ओके, हो गया सबका? ओके, गुड. Now, um, what if I tell you that I'm doing subscription and unsubscription? अभी तो कोड बहुत मेसी हो रहा है, बहुत कुछ कोड लिखना पड़ रहा है. Okay, this is what will happen in your code when you are doing a big project. Okay, what I'm showing you is nothing but your future जो आप करोगे आगे जाके. Okay, but what if I tell you that without doing all of this, without creating a variable for subscription, without doing anything, okay, I can do a subscription. में अनसब्सिडेंट वगैरह सब ऑटोमेटिकली हैंडल हो जाएगा. ओके, ये सब जो हम लोग ने झंझट किया है, ये सब करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. हाउ कैन वी डू इट? ओके, सो मैं इसको कमेंट कर देता हूँ पूरे कोड को. ओके, नाउ इफ यू सी आई हैव कमेंटेड एवरीथिंग. ओके, अगर मैं सबको कमेंट कर रहा हूँ दैट मीन्स नथिंग विल वर्क फॉर नाउ. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स मुझे वैल्यू कुछ मिलेगा नहीं यहाँ पे. कार्ट वैल्यू इज गोइंग टू रिमेन 0 itself. Okay, I'm updating it. My value is not updating. Okay, even though I click on it, nothing is updating. Okay, because subscription is not happening now. Okay, what if I tell you that I can do this in a single line itself? Okay, and do using one pipe. Okay, I already told you there is one pipe that I'm going to tell you later on. Okay, while doing an RxJS, now is the time to do that. Okay, how we can do it? So I don't even need this cart value variable. I don't even need this. I'll convert it into observable. I'll say cart value dollar equals to, I'll do this dot product service dot cart count. Bus. Don't call subscribe method. Okay. We don't have to call subscribe method. Just do this thing and use this cart value dollar variable in your HTML where we're using cart value. Do this and use a sync pipe. Okay, a sync pipe is the one thing which will handle the observable subscription. Okay, also unsubscription. Okay. Let's see what happens if I save it and refresh my page. And now let's see. You can see there is no value here. Okay, because there is no initial value. I have removed the zero. Okay, I'm putting count dollar here, and for card count dollar there is no initial value. That means there is no value here. It is, you can say, as good as null or undefined. Okay, now if you click on this, you will see the value is automatically getting updated. I haven't even done subscription here. Okay, just by using async pipe on your observable, you are doing subscription here. Okay, and this async pipe is very powerful and very helpful. Okay, it will maintain its subscription variable, and whenever your component is getting destroyed, it will automatically unsubscribe this subscription. Okay, you don't even have to do this in on destroy, whatever we have done it here, like doing a subscription and doing an unsubscribe. Okay, you don't have to do this. Okay, and if you have a lot more than one observables, you can create one variable and put a async pipe over there. It will work. Okay, it will handle the unsubscription part for that as well. That means you don't even have to create the subscription variables. Okay, you can see a lot of code has been reduced. It is just handled using one line. Okay, and using async pipe. To everyone, जो भी हम लोगों ने किया था सब पानी में गया नहीं.
एक्चुअली यस, बट बैकग्राउंड में तो यही फंक्शन चलता होगा ना सर?
यस, बैकग्राउंड में यही सब हो रहा है, बट एंगुलर हमारे सब कुछ हैंडल करके दे रहा है बाय जस्ट यूजिंग असिंक पाइप. ओके, समझा सब लोग को?
अगर सर वर्किंग देखना है असिंक पाइप कैसे चल रहा है तो कैसे देख सकते हैं?
वर्किंग तो देख नहीं सकते, बट आप उसका इंटरनल कोड वगैरह चेक कर सकते हो. एंगुलर का कोड तो ओपन सोर्स है, आप चेक
हाँ,
कर सकते हो. async pipe.
Okay, sir.
मतलब सब्सक्राइब हो रहा है कि नहीं तो आपको यही से पता चल रहा है। हम लोग जब लेट्स से जब एपीआई कॉल वगैरह करेंगे तभी भी असिंक पाइप यूज करके चेक कर सकते हैं, तो तभी आपको पता चलेगा एपीआई कॉल हो रहा है कि नहीं। अभी अगर मैं यहाँ पे विदाउट यूजिंग असिंक पाइप करता हूँ ना, आपको वैल्यू नहीं मिलेगा वहाँ पे, आपको वहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट लिख के आएगा, बिकॉज इट्स एन ऑब्जर्वेबल ऑब्जेक्ट, तो आपको ऑब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट दिखेगा यहाँ पे, राइट। सबको सब्सक्राइब करना है, पुट असिंक हियर, यू विल गेट द वैल्यू। समझा सब लोग को? बाय यूजिंग असिंक पाइप हाउ वी कैन अवॉइड लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स। बाकी सब कमेंट कर देना, ओके।
यस
जस्ट पुट वेरिएबल, जो कार्ड वैल्यू वेरिएबल था उसको ऑब्जर्वेबल में कन्वर्ट कर दो एंड यूज असिंक पाइप हियर। बट ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आप हमेशा असिंक पाइप यूज करोगे, कभी कभी जरूरत होगा कि आपको फ्रंट एंड में कुछ दिखा नहीं है बट बैक एंड में कुछ करना है, ओके, तो आपको मे बी सब्सक्राइब मेथड लग सकता है, ओके। सो ये ऐसा नहीं है कि ये मेथड आपको यूज नहीं होगा, कभी 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 यूज कर सकते हैं, ओके। अगर जरूरत है, कहीं किसी सिनारियो में असिंक पाइप नहीं चल सकता, तो दैट टाइम यू विल नीड सब्सक्राइब मेथड। But I would recommend try to use async pipe as much as possible, okay? Because वो पूरा ओवरहेड हटा दे रहा है आपके ऊपर से।
सर, कि अगर वहां पे 0 दिखाना रहेगा तो?
Yes, I'm coming to that point. हो गया ये सब सबका?
यस, डन।
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll come back to RxJS.dev. Okay. अभी हम लोग ने जो देखा ना, like we have used subject here, okay, and as I told you subject में आपने यहाँ पे देखा होगा कि हम लोग ने जब पहले subject create किया था यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट में वैल्यू देखो, जब मैंने प्रीवियस वैल्यू भेजता था, ओके, बिफोर डूइंग सब्सक्रिप्शन, तो वो प्रीवियस वैल्यू नहीं लेता था, ओके। सो इवन दो अगर मैं सब्सक्राइब करने से पहले अगर कुछ वैल्यू भेजता हो तो उसको नहीं मिलेगा, ओके। दैट मीन्स सब्जेक्ट में प्रीवियस वैल्यू स्टोर नहीं होते, ओके, वो आपको हमेशा नए वैल्यूज ही देगा, ओके। सो दैट्स द रीजन आप सब्जेक्ट जो यहाँ पे क्रिएट करते तो एम्प्टी रहता है, खोखला रहता है, तो वो आपको कुछ वैल्यू नहीं देता, इसीलिए आपको यहाँ पे नल या अनडिफाइंड आता है, okay. So that's the reason you are not getting 0 here. But what if you want to get a 0, then in that case you can use other type of subjects. यहाँ पे बहुत तरह टाइप के subjects होते हैं, okay. This is a normal regular subject. You will find another subject called as, let's say, behavior subject. बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट का डेफिनेशन देख लेते हैं। वन ऑफ द वेरिएंट्स ऑफ सब्जेक्ट इज अ बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट व्हिच हैज अ नोशन ऑफ करंट वैल्यू। It stores the latest value emitted to its consumer, and whenever a new observer subscribes, it will immediately receive the current value from the behavior subject. मतलब ये क्या करता है, जो करंट वैल्यू है emitted, वो स्टोर करके रखता है। दैट मीन्स ये जो 5 वैल्यू हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे एमिट किया था, ठीक है, वो करंट वैल्यू था, तो उसने वो स्टोर करके रखा, एंड जब मैं सब्सक्राइब करूंगा तो उसको वो स्टोर्ड वैल्यू मिल जाएगा, ओके। ओके, लेट्स जस्ट चेक कर लेते हैं। यहीं पे हम लोग ने पहले सब्जेक्ट यूज किया था, राइट। सो आई विल चेंज दैट सब्जेक्ट टू बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट, यहाँ पे बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट, ओके। एंड बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट का एक चीज है कि उसको इनिशियल वैल्यू चाहिए रहता है, ओके। एक्सपेक्टेड 1 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स बट गॉट 0, दैट मीन्स को इनिशियल वैल्यू चाहिए रहता है, ओके। यू कैन पुट इट एनीथिंग, null 0, okay, whatever, but since we are using number, so आपको नंबर देना पड़ेगा, so मैं 0 देता हूँ, ओके। एंड अभी मैं इसको ना अनकमेंट कर देते हैं, ओके। I'll do uncomment here, okay। अभी देखो मैं यहाँ पे बिफोर सब्सक्राइबिंग इट आई एम डूइंग नेक्स्ट 5, और जब सब्जेक्ट था तभी मुझे 5 वैल्यू यहाँ पे नहीं मिला था, राइट। अभी जब मैंने यहाँ पे भेजा है 5 वैल्यू, तो उसको मिलना चाहिए। लेट्स चेक, देखो ए को 5 वैल्यू मिला, दैट मीन्स उसने प्रीवियस स्टोर्ड वैल्यू लिया। वही अगर मैं बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट की जगह पे अगर सब्जेक्ट यूज करता, प्रीवियस वन, यहाँ पे आपको वैल्यू ही नहीं मिल रहा है, दैट मीन्स वो करंट वैल्यू स्टोर नहीं कर रहा है सब्जेक्ट, बट बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट करंट वैल्यू स्टोर करता है। सी 5 वैल्यू स्टोर्ड है, बट ये करंट वैल्यू ही स्टोर करता है, उसके प्रीवियस वाला वैल्यू नहीं स्टोर करेगा। दैट मीन्स अगर मैं इसके पहले अगर 4 कॉल करता हूँ तो वो नहीं मिलेगा आपको, आपको 5 मिलेगा बिकॉज करंट वैल्यू स्टोर कर रहा है। कैन सी आपको ए 5 ही मिलेगा, 4 नहीं मिलेगा। ओके, सो what does this mean is like behavior subject will always give you the current value. Whenever a new subscription happens, it will receive the current value which was emitted. Okay, यही फंडा हम लोग यहाँ पे यूज कर सकते हैं हमारे काउंट डॉलर में। इंस्टेड ऑफ यूजिंग सब्जेक्ट यूज बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट। ओके, और इसमें और एक फंडा है, जैसे अभी मैंने इनिशियल वैल्यू बोला ना, तो इसको इनिशियल वैल्यू इसके लिए लगता है क्योंकि वो करंट वैल्यू होना चाहिए। अगर नया कोई सब्सक्रिप्शन आता है तो उसको इनिशियल वैल्यू मिलना चाहिए, करंट वैल्यू मिलना चाहिए। ओके, दैट्स द रीजन वी स्पेसिफाई इनिशियल वैल्यू। मतलब क्या कि अगर मैं यहाँ पे ये दो वैल्यूज नहीं भेजता तो इसको इनिशियल वैल्यू 0 मिल जाएगा बिकॉज दैट्स द करंट वैल्यू। कैन सी 0 हियर। Okay, so we can use the same concept here. I'll comment this one as well, and I will convert this subject to behavior subject. Okay, and I will say 0 here. Now you can see 0 value initialize हो चुका है, इसमें current value is 0. Now जब मैं इसको सब्सक्राइब करूंगा तभी अभी null या undefined है ही नहीं, उसमें 0 है current value, तो आपको यहाँ पे 0 दिख जाएगा। That's how you can show initial value. अगर मैं यहाँ पे इनिशियल वैल्यू बोलता हूँ 10 तो आपको 10 मिल जाएगा। So whatever the initial value is, that will be your current value and that will be shown whenever you subscribe to it. Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can use behavior subject for this purpose. Cool. Okay, like behavior subject we have other subjects as well, like replay subject भी है। तो replay subject क्या करता है कि whenever behavior subject will only emit a single value, but replay subject में you can specify the number of values that you want to emit after new subscription happens. Okay, so वो buffer करके रखता है। You can see the buffer value here, यहाँ पे इसी example में देख सकते हो, यहाँ पे like 3 लिखा है। okay, तो ये 3 values like previous 3 values store करके रखेगा। Here you can see subject पे subscribe किया है, observer A है, मैंने 1 2 3 4 5 किया। ओके, एंड देन सब्जेक्ट नया सब्सक्रिप्शन किया ऑब्जर्वर बी पे, एंड देन आई एम डूइंग नेक्स्ट 5। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो ऑब्जर्वर ए को 1 2 3 4 5 मिलेगा। ओके, 1 2 3 4 तक मिला, देन नया ऑब्जर्वर बी आया सब्सक्रिप्शन, जहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो इसको प्रीवियस 3 वैल्यूज मिलेंगे, 1 नहीं मिलेगा, 2 3 4 मिलेगा। यू कैन सी ऑब्जर्वर बी इज रिसीविंग 2 3 and 4. Okay, and after that 5 is happening, so observer A and B both are receiving 5. Okay, but observer B में देख सकते हो previous सारे values नहीं है, only 3 values which are buffered are subscribed here because I have said only 3 values to be buffered. Okay, so that's how replay subject can work. अगर आपको एक से ज्यादा वैल्यू स्टोर करके रखने या फिर बफर करके रखने, you can use replay subject. Okay, there is async subject and void subject as well. Okay, async subject asynchronously स्टोर करने के लिए यूज होता है। okay, और void subject जनरली कुछ वैल्यू void करने के लिए भी, ये मैंने कभी यूज नहीं किया void और async। okay, बट बिहेवियर एंड रिप्ले, बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट तो बहुत बार यूज होता है, रिप्ले सब्जेक्ट भी इतना यूज नहीं होता, बट बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट यूज होता है। okay, I haven't found any use case for async subject, so you can check this example and see how this works. Like async subject is a variant where only the last value of the observable execution is sent to its observers and only when the execution completes. Okay, so इसमें सिर्फ लास्ट वैल्यू रिसीव होता है और जब ऑब्जर्वेबल कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तभी। तो यार यू कैन सी असिंक सब्जेक्ट में ऑब्जर्वर ए को सब्सक्राइब किया है, देन आई एम सेंडिंग 1 2 3 4 and then observer B is subscribing and then sending 5. okay, but जब 1 2 3 4 emit हुए थे तो 1 2 3 4 A को भी नहीं, B को भी नहीं मिला। okay, but जो लास्ट वैल्यू जो हुआ था सबमिट, okay, उसके बाद जब कंप्लीट हुआ तो कंप्लीट होने के बाद जो वैल्यू मिलेगा वो आपको मिलेगा, कि जो लास्ट वैल्यू जो एमिट करते हैं वो मिलता है असिंक सब्जेक्ट में। अगर मैं कंप्लीट नहीं करता तो आपको वैल्यू नहीं मिलेगा यहाँ पे। सो अगर आपका ऑब्जर्वेबल या सब्जेक्ट कंप्लीट होने वाला है, ओके, एंड आपने जो कंप्लीट करने के बाद जो लेटेस्ट वैल्यू है वो आपको चाहिए रहेगा, देन इन दैट केस यू कैन यूज दिस सिंक सब्जेक्ट। ये जनरली एपीआई कॉल में वगैरह काम में आ सकते हैं। अगर आप एपीआई कॉल कर रहे हो, ओके, और एपीआई कॉल करने के बाद अगर मल्टीपल एपीआई कॉल्स किए तो आपको लेटेस्ट वाला जो रिस्पॉन्स है वो अगर आपको लेना है तो आप कंप्लीट कर सकते हो और लेटेस्ट रिस्पॉन्स लेके सबको वही एमिट कर सकते हैं। दैट्स, इसकी वजह से इसको असिंक सब्जेक्ट बोल रहे हैं, असिंक्रोनसली कॉल। ओके, ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन, लाइक बिहेवियर सब्जेक्ट, रिप्लाई सब्जेक्ट।
Yes, sir.
ओके, ट्राई करो।
Done.
Okay, so that's it on observables RxJS. Okay, so if you have any questions, doubts, you can obviously ask afterwards. Okay, there are various other things as well related to this, but in Angular, this is enough for you. Okay, because most of the time you will be dealing with observables, subjects, behavior subjects. Okay, and this remember this async pipe. Okay, because this is like most important thing, because I will tell you only on this one answer. Okay, on only one question I got selected in an interview. Okay, there is only one question was asked, like I have an API and that I want to call this that API and want to display that in an HTML. Okay, so instead of doing subscribe, I have used a sync pipe. Okay, and when the interviewer asked me like, when where have you done subscribe, how will you get the values, I just told him that I will use a sync pipe. A sync pipe will take care of doing subscription and unsubscription when the company is destroyed. I'll just explain that async pipe behavior and I got selected just only based on one question. Okay, so you should be smart enough to answer queries, and like this will help you. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture. Okay, and now the whatever knowledge we got it from here from RxJS will be helpful for us in the upcoming lectures, like in uh, services is still not complete. We are going to implement API integration by using services. So in the next lecture we will do that. After that, the routing part, forms, so everywhere the RxJS is used. Okay, so this will be the helpful topic. So I now I assume that everyone has understood RxJS. Anyone has any questions or doubts in RxJS, you can raise it now. Understood everyone? सबको clear है
Yes.
RxJS?
Yes.
Okay, good. ठीक है, so let's stop it here. Continue tomorrow.
Oh,
और Wednesday, sir.
कल होगा because कल मैं हूँ तो कल हो जाएगा lecture.
Okay, sir.
So tomorrow the lecture will be there पढ़ाएंगे.
stop.
Yes, Ravi.
और सर असाइनमेंट कहाँ सबमिट करना है हमें?
असाइनमेंट पोर्टल पे ही सबमिट कर दो.
अब मेरे पोर्टल में नहीं दिखा रहा असाइनमेंट.
नहीं दिखा रहा?
नहीं.
चेक करता हूँ, अब मैडम को बोल देता हूँ मैं.
ओके, क्योंकि लास्ट 2 दिन पहले मेरे पास कॉल आया था कि आप
अच्छा
असाइनमेंट सबमिट करें तो that's all.
अच्छा, मैं चेक करता हूँ. असाइनमेंट तो डाला तो है मैंने शायद. ये कौन सा तो असाइनमेंट दिया था आपको? 2 असाइनमेंट दिए थे ना?
यस यस.
हाँ ठीक है, मैं पोर्टल पे रहेगा, नहीं रहेगा तो मैं देखता हूँ, चेक करता हूँ. बाकी सब लोग को दिख रहा है क्या?
सर लेकिन सबमिट क्या कर रहे हैं असाइनमेंट को?